Assessing patients with endocrine disorders. Endocrine disorders of the endocrine system are among the most challenging to diagnose and yet the most fascinating of all medical conditions. The endocrine system is in essence a system of cellular communication, and abnormalities of one system can have a ripple effects that affect many distant organ systems. I liken the whole physiological picture of the endocrine system to a three-dimensional string structure known as the cat's cradle. As with the cat's cradle, when you shorten or lengthen one string, the whole figure has to change to accommodate the new reality. With the endocrine system, excess or deficiencies of one hormone often leads to far-reaching compensatory changes in many others. Because of this, it is sometimes difficult to tell for certain the initial or underlying problem. The endocrine system is one area in which clinical labs will be helpful. Endocrine glands are called ductless glands and must use the blood to transport secreted hormones to the target tissues. Endocrine glands include pituitary gland, adrenal gland, thyroid gland, islet cells of the pancreas, parathyroid glands, and gonads. Hormones travel throughout the blood to all body areas, but they exert their actions only on target tissues. Hormones recognize their target tissues and exert their actions by binding to receptor sites on or within the target tissues. In general, each receptor site type is specific for only one hormone. Hormone receptor actions work in a lock and key manner in that only the correct hormone, which is the key, can bind to and activate the receptor site, which is the lock. Binding a hormone to its receptor causes the target tissue to change its activity. In this way, hormones produce specific responses even though they circulate throughout the body. The hypothalamus gland has a very important job to connect the nervous system with the endocrine system. The hypothalamus, a collection of specialized cells that is located in the lower part of the brain and is the primary link between the endocrine system and nervous system. Nerve cells in the hypothalamus control the pituitary gland by producing chemicals that either stimulate or suppress hormone secretions from the pituitary. The hypothalamus is a smooth operator and releases the hormone oxytocin, which plays a role in what you feel when you're in love. It works from deep inside the brain to make hormones that make other glands make hormones. The hypothalamus is the master gland and has a hand in regulating body temperature, hunger, thirst, fatigue, and anger. The pituitary gland. Although it's no bigger than a pea, the pituitary gland located at the base of the brain just beneath the hypothalamus is considered the most important part of the endocrine system. The production and secretion of pituitary hormones can be influenced by factors such as emotions and seasonal changes. To accomplish this, the hypothalamus relays information sensed by the brain, such as environmental temperature, light exposure patterns, and feelings to the pituitary. The tissues in the anterior lobe secrete at least 6 different hormones. Growth hormone stimulates all the tissues in the body to grow by affecting protein formation. The thyroid, located in the front part of the lower neck, is shaped like a bow tie or butterfly and produces the thyroid hormones thyroxine and tridiothyrionine. These hormones control the rate at which cells burn fuels from food to produce energy. As the level of thyroid hormones increases in the bloodstream, so does the speed at which chemical reactions occur in the body. Thyroid hormones also play a key role in bone growth and development of the brain and nervous system in children. The production and release of thyroid hormones is controlled by thyrotropin, which is secreted by the pituitary gland. Attached to the thyroid are 4 tiny glands that function together called the parathyroids. They release parathyroid hormone, which regulates the level of calcium in the blood with the help of calcitonin, which is produced in the thyroid. The proportion of bound hormone is in balance with the free hormone. The free hormone moves into the cell where it binds to its receptor in the cell nucleus. Once in the cell, T4 is converted to T3, the most active thyroid hormone. The conversion of T4 to T3 is impaired by stress, starvation, dyes, beta blockers, amiodarone, corticosteroids, or propylthiouracil (PTU). Cold temperatures increase the conversion. Calcitonin is another hormone produced in the thyroid gland. Calcitonin lowers serum calcium and serum phosphate levels by reducing bone reabsorption and breakdown. It works in opposition to parathyroid hormone. The adrenal gland has an outer portion, cortex, and an inner portion, medulla. Each area has an independent function. The hormones of the adrenal gland have effects throughout the body. The adrenal cortex makes up about 90% of the adrenal gland and has cells divided into 3 zones or layers. Cortisol is the main glucocorticoid produced by the adrenal cortex. Cortisol affects the carbohydrate, protein, fat metabolism, the body responses to stress, emotional stability, and immune function. Cortisol has a permissive effect on other body processes. It must be present for other important processes to occur, such as catecholamine action and maintaining the normal excitability of the heart muscle cells. Aldosterone is a chief mineralocorticoid produced by the adrenal cortex, maintains extracellular fluid volume. Aldosterone causes the kidney to reabsorb sodium and water to bring the plasma volume and osmolality back to normal. Adrenal androgen. Small amounts of androgens and estrogens are secreted by the adrenal cortex in both genders. Adrenal secretion of these hormones is usually not significant because the gonads secrete much larger amounts of estrogen and androgens. Pancreas. Glucagon is a hormone that increases blood glucose levels. It is triggered by decreased blood glucose levels and increases blood amino acid levels. Together with epinephrine, growth hormone, and cortisol, glucagon maintains blood glucose levels. In the liver, which is the main target organ of glucagon, it causes glycogenolysis, the conversion of glycogen to glucose. Glucagon also enhances amino acid transport from muscle and promotes gluconeogenesis, the conversion of amino acid to glucose. In fat metabolism, glucagon enhances lipolysis, which is the fat breakdown, and ketone formation. Insulin, an anabolic hormone, one that stimulates growth, promotes the movement and storage of carbohydrate, protein, and fat. Insulin lowers blood glucose levels by enhancing glucose movement across cell membranes in many tissues. Basal levels of insulin are secreted continuously to control metabolism. Insulin secretion rises in response to an increase in blood glucose levels. The pineal gland is located in the middle of the brain. It secretes melatonin, a hormone that may help regulate the wake-sleep cycle. The gonads are the main source of sex hormones. In males, they are located in the scrotum. Male gonads or testes secrete hormones called androgens, the most important of which is testosterone. These hormones regulate body changes associated with sexual development, including enlargement of the penis, the growth spurt that occurs during puberty, and the appearance of other male secondary sex characteristics, such as deepening of the voice, growth of facial and pubic hair, and the increase in muscle growth and strength. Working with hormones from the pituitary gland, testosterone also supports the production of sperm by the testes. The female gonads, the ovaries are located in the pelvis. They produce eggs and secrete the female hormones estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen is involved in the development of female sexual features such as breast growth, the accumulation of body fat around the hips and thighs, and the growth spurt that occurs during puberty. Both estrogen and progesterone are also involved in pregnancy and the regulation of the menstrual cycle.